Guys, it is time for the highest level Iron Fist VOD review I have ever done. This is with my team for last MRC where we scrimmed against Ascend X, one of the best MRC teams out there. It was a very, very, very good game, and we ended up winning, and yes, I was on Iron Fist, and I want to show you on the level that we were playing on, I want to show you exactly how I got value on Iron Fist, and all the different ways I played him, because it's very, very important when you VOD review something like this. When I'm playing ranked, okay, it's watching me play ranked is very different than watching me, fully locked in with the intention on winning the game. When you're playing ranked, I dive a lot. I do a lot of just permanently diving because ranked functions kind of differently when you're just taking advantage of a lot of bad players. But I figured this would be pretty educational, so a lot of you guys can see how I take full advantage of the entirety of Iron Fist kit to win the game. So without further ado, let's get into it. So one of the first things I want to show you guys is the importance of routing and something Iron Fist can do that most heroes can't do. And it's first securing a height or an angle before then taking your route to the backline. Because Iron Fist can take a angle and secure it and then immediately go to the backline uncontested because of his mobility. So let's say you're walking out of Spire Islands. You first want to route yourself to clear height. Make sure your supports are safe. Clear height. Maybe there's a Phoenix up there already or a Star-Lord. Clear height first. Path yourself properly. That way you clear all angles and then you go for the backline. If you were to go through the bottom door on the right on Spire Islands, you wouldn't be able to clear height, which is what Iron Fist can do. So what I do is I go out with my team to clear height first. And then once we make the comm or the call that we're ready to go, like my team's up there, they can handle that. I immediately start pathing uncontested to the backline for our dive. Now, this is something that Iron Fist can do better than most heroes because I can just very quickly go from height to behind the wall run up, and I'm immediately in the backline without taking any damage first. And this is what Iron Fist can do so well, is your ability to clear height and then quickly path to the backline. So always remember when you're going to go for a dive, first try to clear any angles on your path to the backline. Now, what I'm going to show you guys next is an example of how Iron Fist can essentially herd people together. Iron Fist is like one of the best space makers in this game, and you'll see throughout this VOD review that there's a lot of space making I'm doing on Iron Fist. He is so damn good at taking pressure off everyone else on your team, because remember, pressure that's on you, even if only temporary, as you're blocking, getting to 500 over health. That's why dive only is a bit, you can't really dive only on Iron Fist. If you dive only, you're kind of trolling. If you're trying to get all the value, sure, you could do it in rank. You could dive only and you could do well. But like, if you want to get the maximum value out of Iron Fist, taking space is also so important. Because I am going in first, my intention here, the moment they get runes, I'm going to block, and I don't really want to stay in here. This is like a death box. They're all herded back into a kill box, right? I immediately get out to wait for my cooldowns, to wait for some opportunity, because we have the point. Like, do I have to go in there and just die? I leave the fight, and then what do I find? Because I left the fight and I was careful, I find someone on their team making the wrong play that I can pick out, aka the Star-Lord that failed to match their team in their little bunker. Because of that, I picked off the Star-Lord, and I still didn't even go in the rim yet. Another one comes out to touch, and I just go and I pick him off. I did not continue in the kill box. I immediately left. Now, there is very few situations where I actually stay in there, and it's maybe if I calmed with my team for a 6-man dive in there. But in general, I made all this space for the team by going in first, causing pressure, blocking, getting all my overhealth, being a big force that needs attention. So my tanks are all still full health. Like, look at the health of my team. Well, actually, my Hulk. Where's my Hulk? Is my Hulk dead? Oh, my Hulk stayed in there. But let's show you what I was talking about when I went in. Like, all the attention immediately went onto me. And that's important because now they're all looking at me right now. And then I block, and now I'm a force to be reckoned with. I'm taking all the attention. So my tanks have entered the backline at full health. They took no neutral damage. And that's what's important here. So if you're playing with like a Captain America or something, you don't always have to wait for the Captain America to go in first. But if you're going to do that, you want to make sure they're going to follow in after you, because letting your tanks do whatever they want while full health is what Iron Fist can do so well. You can just take attention away from people. Now, what I'm about to show you from my ultimate is very important, right? So a lot of players, okay, when they go ult, they set up in the back line and they just ult right away. And that's fine. You can do that sometimes. It really depends on where the enemy team is standing. This is not like an absolute rule what I'm about to show you. But my goal is, okay, I have my block. I'm going to have my ult. I want to make sure my team can walk with me. So I'm going to, I'm a tank right now. I jump in front of my both my tanks. And I block, and I get 500 overhealth because I'm a tank. They're all shooting me. I'm taking pressure off my team before I go into ult. Now I get Bucky pulled, but I was gonna ult anyway. So now my tank is full health. My other tank's full health. And there's an ulting Iron Fist right here. I let them walk because I first went in, blocked, got the most overhealth I could, and then I ulted. So now my tanks aren't low, waiting for heals, or having pressure on them to where they can't follow me up. My team can now walk and essentially eat for free. And so as I'm ulting their backline, they're still all looking at me. Now I get ulted, but thankfully, because of my overhealth, I actually survived this ult here. But because of all the pressure on me, look what's able to happen. My Hulk is still full health. My Strange is now able to go for a free ultimate because all the pressure is on me. Why? Because I walked in front to back. I go in from the front, I get 500 overhealth, I then ult with all that overhealth, and I am a force to be reckoned with. I take all the attention. Now that I'm taking all the attention, my team, my tank specifically, can do whatever the hell they want. They're free. They're at full health. They can walk in and cause as much chaos as they want. As you see, my Strange didn't even have to worry about a cancel on his ult. He had it for free because all the attention is on me. Now, this might seem like something small or something you already know, but I just want to show you guys, the importance of preparing for the next fight. So my team has not even engaged yet. Our tanks are still in the neutral, and I'm already heading over to where I think I'll be ready to dive because there's nothing for me to do anywhere else. I want to get set up. Your Iron Fist. The most important things you can do is getting set up. And I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the right moment, waiting for them to walk forward more to where when I do dive the backline, I get more value out of it. I just wanted to show you guys this so you guys understand just the importance of setting up for the next fight and having in your brain the idea of where their tanks need to walk before I dive the backline. What's the line? What am I waiting for? What is the condition? Am I waiting for my team to make a move? What is it that I'm waiting for before I go in? Rather than just, I'm just going to go in whenever I feel like it. So once again, I am setting up. Now, there are times where you want to start from the front line, and it's when you feel like you need to take pressure off your tanks. There's no pressure to be taken off my tanks right now. If we were maybe out of our spawn, right? Let's say we were over here, and this is a ranked game, and they're holding the card here. Sure, you could go in, you could get a 500 overhealth on card, you can punch tanks a bit, just to make space, right? You can make space for your team. That way you can also set up for a dive properly. You can push them back, then you can go maybe meditate here and set up for a dive. But in this case here, their team is just walking back. And so what is the goal here? The goal is, it's like, I'm sure you guys see all the time in ranked games. There are sometimes your team will 3-cap and your KD is like 8-2, right? You don't feel like you have that many kills, yet somehow you've 3-capped. And it's because of momentum. It's stuff like this, where you set up for a dive while they're still walking and they haven't contested yet. You slow down their ability to contest the cart. Now they're like, oh, we're being dove. The fight's here. It's like a mental thing. The fight's here now. So my tanks still don't even have any pressure on them. So I'm taking pressure off them before the pressure even starts by preparing for a dive. And now the moment I go in for my dive, now they cannot walk to the cart. How are they going to contest the cart when the fight's happening over here? I don't even need to land a kill here. That's not the intention. I'm going in, I block, I get all my overhealth, and I do my golden rotation. I'm punching the Magneto, and I'm out. Bam, quick, done and dirty. Now, look at where they're standing now versus where they were standing before. If I did not do this and I just stood in the front line, or maybe I wasn't very careful about my positioning, they could have just kept walking and contested and had another fight over here. Instead, their whole team had to walk backwards because we're being dove in the back line. Attention is there. And I did it before they even contested cart. It's all about positioning. Because I did that, you know, it's very important when you do this, you don't die. If you die, you ruin all of it. I went in, I got all my overhealth, I got the mag low, and you notice how I didn't just W key in until I died. I'm W keying him, and yes, he's getting low, but I'm like, I am not going to live this. So I jump out right here, and I'm sure my flurry is about to end. Yeah, this is normally what I do. I normally leave when I get to like the 20-30% mark on my flurry, or when I think I'm just absolutely not going to land a kill. And in this case, I thought, you know what, I'm not going to land a kill, so I'm out, right? I'm out. I cannot survive. But all the space I made is now, look at where my Strange is, by the way, with full health. He has full health. He managed to get this deep. Same thing with my Hulk, with full health. Why? Because they're all looking at the diver. They're all looking at me. I'm in the back line. Ultron's looking at me. Bucky turns to me. This is what Iron Fist does better than most divers. And I blocked all that damage, and I got all the overhealth, and they're still looking at me. Now look at my tanks. They're just walking up freely. So once I do my rotation, now my time is running out, and I leave the fight. I think a lot of people have seen the idea floating around about, you know, distraction value. I've mentioned it in a lot of my guides before, but I'm really showing you guys this VOD because it really emphasizes all the value Iron Fist can obtain. Distraction, taking pressure off your team, getting as much overhealth as you can, and simply surviving so your team can walk and is more free to do things. It's such a high value play that only Iron Fist can do. No other hero can really do it like this. Daredevil can do it to an extent, but it's a bit different the way you would get value on him. You cannot live as long in the fight as Daredevil can. So the amount of pressure you take off your team compared to an Iron Fist just isn't the same. Now, what I'm about to show you guys is a concept I've shown you guys in some previous guides before, but I've never really shown a really strong example of me doing it in the game, and it's aggro ulting. Aggro ulting is usually when your cart is reaching a very important point that the enemy team has to touch. They have to respect it. They need to make their way to the cart. It's not really an aggro ult if the cart's like way over there, because there's no immediate pressure. They could all walk back if your ult is not done right. But in a case like this, and I'm doing this knowing they probably they don't have, oh yeah, they're 5% off cloak. We were ult tracking, and in my mind I know they have cloak ult. So with this ult, what is the intention here with my ult? My intention is the cart is about to cap. If I ult here, their team has to consider two different things. Number one, we need to touch the cart without dying. So if one person jumps to touch while the rest are looking at me, that person might just die. Secondly, they need to also respect the ulting Iron Fist in their backline. So I go in, I block first, and then I do my little jump before I ult. That way you're harder to hit during the intro animation. And bam, now there's an ulting Iron Fist in the backline that requires all this attention, and the cart is a couple meters away from capping. This causes, especially if you're doing this in ranked, it'll cause a lot of teams to panic, where if they have an invis-ult, they might just pop it here, right? This is what I like to do. If they have a rocket amp, they'll just pop it here. They have an invis-ult, they'll just pop it here. Whatever ult they have, they'll just pop it here, off cart and away, because they're stressed. You know, they're stressed, and like, if we're going to lose this, we're going to lose. If I don't ult here, we lose, right? So they end up ulting here. So in this case, what do? There's too much pressure now. Sadly, it's a cloak ult, so she can walk it out. But what is it that I do with this ult? I buy my team a better support ult, because now they are support ulting first and from further away. Now, my goal here is obviously to live. If I'm going to do this, then the most important thing is living. Okay, you cannot die when doing this. So please, if you guys are going to do this, do not die. Do not die. It's the most important thing when you're doing this, is just to not die. You don't even need to land a kill. So because I did this, their whole team their cloak had to ult from all the way out here, and they were pressured. It's buying our invis ult a better time relative to the cloak ult, versus if they walked for free. They walked for free, and then I ulted here, right? They would have cloak ulted from here. Much better time, much higher pressure, much higher chance of them landing a kill right away. My team has had so much time to walk back. If you notice my team, look at the health of my team, by the way. My team is really healthy because of this, because of my ult. I took all that attention, and I caused them to ult from spawn, versus if they ulted on point, my team's health might not have been so healthy. So what I'm about to show you guys is a really important nuance to diving on Iron Fist. It's so important when you're doing the golden rotation, and it's when you know for certain you're not going in for a kill. This dive here, it's very important you watch what I do, but I'm absolutely not going in for a kill. They're pushing in, right? They're contesting. But our height is kind of cleared. I don't really need to be anywhere else. So this is the perfect time for me to go for a dive. And what I'm doing when I go for this dive is I'm not going in for the kill. I immediately position myself in front of all three supports, and watch how I move. I get all my overhealth I can, blocking in front of all three supports like this. I go in, I rotate to the front of them. I'm not trying to stay behind them. I'm not trying to land a kill. I immediately rotate in front of them. I get all their overhealth. So what did I accomplish here? It might seem small, but it matters a lot. All three of their supports just fed me a lot of block, and they all walked backwards. I took attention for probably about 2 or 3 seconds, and now their Hulk is half health. Now their Hulk is half health, and I'm rotating back to him, and now he has to leave. Now he has to leave, and they have to reset. And now look at all the cooldowns I just got. Now Hulk used his bubble, they panicked, and now I can just rotate back up to the front and repeat it over again. Now, if their Hulk was deeper or they had another tank that was deep, I could have gotten even more value out of that. So what I'm about to show you now is something I also mentioned in some of my previous guides, and it's ulting a tank. If you're going to ult a tank and you're not going to ult to the back line, right? If you're not going to start from the front and go to the back line, usually when you're ulting in that brawl like I showed you earlier, you go for the supports. You can start off in the front to get overhealth, but when you're ulting, you fly like crazy. So you can fly to the back line like half a second. You always go for supports. You don't want to punch the tank in front of the support. They'll just heal it and get ult charge. However, I said you want to ult tanks if they give you a reason to do it. Now, I find a Thor who is out of position. And in my mind, I get a free kill when I ult. This is a free kill. I straight up ult the out of position Thor. And he can't get out. There's just no way he gets out in time. I ult the out of position Thor. I know sometimes you might think it's a bit, weird, like solo ulting. Iron Fist ult is never a solo ult. I just killed him, but I have like 8 or 9 seconds left. Right? It's not a solo ult. There's no solo ulting on Iron Fist, really. And then I also killed the Hulk, who probably thought he could have survived. Their strat pool's 1 health. I'm about to run back. It's 1 Iron Fist. Maybe I'll exile him. I'll jump back. And then, bam, I ult and I punish both tanks for even slightly overextending. They weren't overextending much, but it was enough to where in my mind I'm like, yeah, I'll get him here. And because of that, I then go and I touch cart. Because now, how much time do I have left in my ult? I just killed both tanks that were overextending. And I now have 1 second left in my ult with 300 overhealth. And now look at what I do. This is the second most important thing, right? This is another really important thing. I didn't leave the fight. I'm still here. And look, I'm literally anchoring this cart as a solo tank. Because I still have my block. And I'm going to have my kick soon. I'm like, okay, I block. I get 500 overhealth. And I'm like, you know what? They just all walked back because of me. They all walked back. So I'm just going to hold cart here. I have my kick if I need to get out. I have my kick. I have 1 support healing me. I'm just going to chill right here. I'm going to anchor cart. I'm going to play the objective, right? I could have kicked out. I could have. But why if I don't have to, right? I took my overhealth, and I'm just holding the cart. I'm even meditating behind cover right here. I'm like, I have my kick. If I get in danger, I whip around and I kick out. I have my kick. Why not hold cart here while my team comes back? Like, there's no reason not to. It's an objective-based game, and I have my kick, most important thing. And I was stalling until I get my block back there. Now that I have my block back, I can go in and make space for my team yet again. Very important that you utilize the full ability of Iron Fist to both dive and brawl and take space. Not one. Brawl Fist, dive fist, no. He does both, and you want to be doing both. What I've been showing you guys in this game is me doing both of it to the highest potential I possibly can within the confines of this space, right? Brawl, dive, get all the value you can out of this hero. Guys, now I want to show you guys this because I think this is absolutely hilarious. This is probably the most cinematic ending to a game I've ever seen. But so the Jeff eats me and Strange, and just watch what happens. So I jump back, and my Strange presses his portal to survive. He presses his portal. I didn't even know you could do this. But he was spamming the portal button, so the moment he got thrown off, he was able to portal himself. And now, it gets better, guys. Hold on. Wait, where's my freaking mouse? Guys, it gets better. Their Hulk notices what's going on. He exiles me. Just wait. He's like, I'm going to jump him off. He's in a portal. He lands the portal, and then the Hulk dies. Oh. The Hulk falls through the portal and dies, and my Strange lives. The most cinematic ending to a game I've ever seen. Imagine you're the Hulk, and you watch this shit happen. Imagine you are this Hulk. Imagine you are this Hulk. And to make things better, I had to show you guys that. But guys, that's it for this VOD review. Now sadly, this last MRC, a certain someone on our team didn't wake up for our MRC game, and so we got disqualified, very sadly. Now the team kind of broke down, and we're kind of rebuilding with a couple of members now. So yeah, looking for some tanks, looking for a tank and a support player basically. But yeah, this is how to get the maximum value out of Iron Fist. How to play him in a way that you get all the value from both diving and brawling and just making space for your team. I hope this VOD review helped you guys. It's the highest level guide I've really ever done, showing you how I played Iron Fist. This is also the highest level Scrim I've ever done. This is Ascend X. They're an extremely powerful team, a very, very powerful team. One of the best MRC teams out there. It was a very good Scrim that we had. So hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please remember to like, subscribe, comment, turn on the bell for notifications so you can see when this videos are. And as always, guys, take care.